Hi, it's Handy Val. In this video I will show every step needed to replace both the low beam headlight bulbs for this 2010 to 2012 Ford Fusions. The first part will focus on the driver's side and the second part will focus on the passenger side. If you're watching this video for the passenger side, you'll need to watch the driver's side part because those details will be helpful. So let's get to it. Okay, so the low beam, trying to orient ourselves here, you kind of see right there, there's a little bit of a rubber cap. We're going to need to remove that rubber cap. And to remove that rubber cap, we're going to need to remove this flap over here. So let's take this out. Okay, so again, we're just trying to remove this flap. This gives us a little bit of extra space. So you're going to kind of take this out. Make sure you kind of squeeze it out. Okay, it's just rubber, okay? It just comes out, see, just like that, You don't need to take it out there. Kind of move it out of its way, okay? Now, if you come in from this side here, okay, so you can see the rubber cap right over there. Okay, so that's pretty easy. You're going to take that out. It's more of a protective for bugs, weather as well. And if you look in there, you see the bulb. So here's the new bulb. So what you were looking at in there is actually the back of the bulb. Okay? And what we're going to do, so it's kind of embedded in there right now. Again, this is the new one. And we're going to need to turn this counterclockwise. Okay? And if you turn this counterclockwise, it's a locking mechanism. The bulb will then come out, and then we're going to take out the connector with our hands. Okay? So right now the bulb is in there. Turn counterclockwise, pull it out, remove the connector. So let's do that. Okay, so let's get our hands in there. A little bit hard to film. And we're going to get our hands on it and turn counterclockwise. Okay, and the bulb at this point will now start to come out and will now start to be exposed. It'll give you a lot of space, and there's a little bit of a connector. And you kind of see those connectors. Maybe we'll get the light in there. Okay, you can see those connectors holding it. We need to unclip those two connectors. Okay? Not very difficult to do. And the whole bulb would just come out. Okay? Now when you're removing the old bulb, you don't care too much about getting your fingers on. Now I'm using gloves, right? Now when we're going to replace it with the new bulb, we're just going to want to make sure that we don't touch the new bulb with our fingers, and we use new gloves. Okay, now here's the new bulb. Okay, we're not touching the actual bulb itself, and you can sort of see there's a little bit of a pattern there, a little bit of pattern inside there as well. You can sort of see that little slot right there where my thumb is. You can see it there. So that just gives you an idea of which direction you need to put this on. Okay, and then once you got it on, you can sort of see that. It's a simple push. And you heard that click. Now we're ready to go back into the hole. Okay, now, okay, I'm using a mirror to help you see where the bulb has to go, and you can sort of see that metal right there. And you need to try to put the bulb in there and then turn counterclockwise. Okay, so let's do that a bit more clearly. Okay, you can sort of see it from over here, from this direction. Can you see that? Right, it's in that kind of aluminum metal compartment. And we're good. So now all we got to do now is put the cover back on. So we're going to put that little cover back on. Make sure you do get it. Again, that keeps dirt and debris away as well as weather. And then you remember this guy here too. We're just going to get this guy, kind of squeeze it in there. Okay. And this is rubber. It won't break. And put that. And that's it, folks. That's how you replace the low beam. This is a lot more difficult to get to, and there's two ways to successfully get to this bulb. One way is to dismantle a lot of the plastic undercladding of the wheel well here and kind of get your hand into the bulb situation. I'm going to show you where the bulb is right here. It's actually located behind this piece of rubber right there. So you can pull the rubber out, but you're not able to get your hands in anywhere because you've got all these things in play, okay? But if you kind of remove the plastic undercladding, you could kind of get your hand in there. It'd be very difficult. Actually, this is the reason why Ford, if you take it to a dealership to replace this bulb, they charge you a lot of money because there's a lot of labor involved. Now, the way I like to take this out is I like to remove, or like to pull out, the coolant reservoir. Now it's being held together by these two clamps, and what I do is I try to lift it a little bit out of play and try to get my hand in there. Okay, so let's try that out. So this is being held together by two. That's a 7mm and that's a 10mm. So let's remove these. Okay, that's out. This one is out as well. Put them in safe storage. And what this does right now is that this kind of like affords you a little bit of additional space. Now you are dealing with a coolant reservoir, and you want to make sure that when you're doing this, it's on a cold engine, okay? Because this thing would be extraordinarily hot. You actually don't even want to open this up. You want to make sure everything is good. You actually want to likely even want to wear some protective eyewear just in case, you know, because a lot of this, if these hoses are a little brittle, they could escape. And so here is, you're going to need to maneuver this a little bit. So you're going to want to try to take this thing out. At the same time, you see this little rubber hose? You don't want to try to get it over this piece, just like that, okay? Just like that. And then that frees you, actually gives you a lot of space, okay? To go in there now, you're going to go in there, you're going to stick your hand, not a lot of space, actually there's only one space for one hand. Take this rubber piece out, and again, you're going to go in there with your hand, and you're going to want to turn counterclockwise to take this thing out. Really tight in there, okay, to get your hand in there. Maybe you're lucky to get two hands in there, and there you go. Now it starts to come out, okay? Starts to come out, and so you're going to try to really try to get your hand in there a little bit, okay? And you see the tabs there, okay? You're going to want to try to slowly and surely take those tabs out, little bit, kind of squeezing the bulb out, okay? And the bulb kind of comes out, and you're going to want to kind of get the bulb out through here, okay? You're going to need to, again, be wary of the plug that's in there and how to connect it in here again, okay? So let's go back in there, leave this bulb out here like this for now. Actually, you got to bring the bulb with you down into the hole here. Okay, get this thing right out of the way. If you actually have a helper, you could tell them to kind of like move that thing out of the way. They're going to kind of come in here. Again, you're trying not to actually get your hands on the bulb. Very difficult to do, okay? And when you go in here, you kind of got this little thing over there. Now, a lot of times you cannot. I've got this thing the other way. It's got to go down. Okay. It's possible, folks. It very much is possible. And there you go. Okay, now all you need to do here is kind of push it in. And there you go. Now you've heard the click. Okay. Again, you're trying not to get any grease on the bulb itself. That causes a little bit of premature wear, and you can see this is a real pain to get to. And what I do suggest here, it's very difficult to film here, I do suggest you look at my other video where I do the driver's side to get a lay of the land here in terms of what you're trying to do. So you want to try to, there's a little bit of a metal hole in there, you're going to get that in there, and you're going to need to turn clockwise to screw it in, okay? Clockwise from what you're staring in there. Now I've got it in there, it's good. I'm going to squeeze this guy in there. Put this plastic coverall again. Now you're going to want to get your hand out. You're going to want to bring this thing back into play here. Okay, this thing kind of gets pushed in there and kind of just goes right into place. Forget your screws. Okay, I'm going to tighten those up, and you will be done. Let's give this a quick try here. I'm just using my key fob here. It's always good to check. There you go. That's a job well done. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, follow, and subscribe, and or comment. As well, further check out my other library for my many other Ford Fusion videos. Thanks for watching. Handy Val, bye for now.